I'll just ring my bowl. So just make yourself comfortable on your mat, settling in, making any adjustments you might need to make in order to feel nice and relaxed. And perhaps take a deep cleansing breath in through your nose and out through your mouth as you say, ah, relaxing, letting the body totally relax onto your mat. Begin to let go of your day so far, settling into the present moment. So now turning to your breath, just be an observer and observe your breath on the inhale, just watching the breath as it moves through the nasal passages to the back of the throat, to the chest and belly. See the rise of the chest on the inhale. And then as you exhale, notice the softening of the chest and belly. What is that noise? And just continue just following the breath without trying to change it. Just following it all the way in, noticing the exact point where it changes to an exhale. See if you can focus on that. Notice that exact point where it changes to an exhale, and then follow it all the way out. Just staying with the breath. You may decide to come to your home base by counting on the inhale and exhale, or you may like to say, I inhale and I exhale. You might like to practice so on the inhale, hum on the exhale. Whatever resonates with you, to keep yourself focused on the breath. And it's natural for us to kind of start thinking and move away from the breath. Everyone's mind does that. So just recognize that. Allow the thoughts to be there. And as soon as you notice that you're thinking, you can even say to yourself, I'm thinking, noticing that you're thinking, but then come back to the breath. And see if you can relax a little deeper on each exhalation. You might even consider using your Ujjayi breath. Remember your ocean breath, which is very calming, and it helps you to notice the breath a little bit more since you're making an audible sound in the back of the throat. So for today's practice, our focus is going to be encouraging energy in the body and the mind. And so energy, prana is the word that we kind of associate energy with, and we also associate the word prana with breath. So, prana is really the energy, the subtle energy in the body. And we can encourage this energy in our asanas or in our poses by grounding, You know, so we talk about grounding through our feet, grounding through our sit bones. When our hands are on the mat, you know, spreading the fingers wide and grounding through the back of the knuckles. So that type of thing will encourage energy. So we're going to be actively using the body to encourage energy, okay? So let's just begin by floating our arms up overhead with our knuckles resting on the earth. And we'll just stretch out through our fingers, through our arms, walking the shoulders up towards the ears so our arms are engaged, the muscles are engaged. We can notice the muscles in the arms. And then we'll continue down through the body. So engaging the muscles, creating a bit of tension, you know, pointing the toes and engaging, you know, the muscles of the thighs and maybe the kneecaps and the calves, and pointing the toes and just feeling the energy line from the top of the head down the entire length of the spine. This is where, you know, an energy line lies in the body. And then release. If you've brought tension, release any tension. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Relaxing and letting go, being heavy on your mat, and just noticing how the body feels as we begin. Just making note of any stiffness or any tightness or any areas that don't feel as relaxed as you'd like them to be. And we'll notice at the end of our class how the body feels. So let's just stretch out through the hands this time, and we'll clench the fists and we'll flex the feet and just actively squeezing the fists, bringing some tension to the arms and shoulders, down through the body and out through the heels. Without holding the breath, just let the breath flow naturally, but bringing tension to the body. And then release and allow all the muscles to soften, relax, and release. We'll float the arms down by our sides, bend our legs, placing the soles of our feet on the mat. And our feet can be about as wide as our mat this time. And so we'll use our breath. So we'll drop the knees to the right, inhale them back to center, drop the knees to the left, and just be gentle as we begin. We're just waking up the body. Perhaps as you're doing this movement, set the intention of bringing your awareness to the energy in your body. So, you know, notice how you feel as you begin. You know, did you sleep well? Are you tired today? Or what's your level of energy? And maybe note it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being just a little bit of energy and 10 being very energetic. Just notice the feeling that you have in the body and the mind on your energy level. And just continue to move the knees back and forth, inhaling them to center, exhaling them to either side. And the next time your knees come up to center, bring them to stillness. And we'll bring the feet and the knees into the air and the arms up towards the ceiling. And we'll just come into our bicycle, our air bicycle. Press the lower back into the mat. Keep the breath flowing. So we have the ability to change our energy level. So we're going to see how we go today, see what happens. Keep the breath flowing. And then bring the feet to the mat and the hands down. And we're going to place our hands on our kneecaps. We'll draw our knees in towards our body as we exhale. Our shoulders are relaxed, and then push the knees away on the inhale. So it's almost a rocking motion using the breath. So we'll just continue with this motion for a few moments. And then bring yourself to stillness. Keep the left knee in towards the chest as you extend the right leg out straight above the earth, pointing the toe. We'll lift the head and shoulders up, and we're going to do our 2 puffs. So we'll draw that left knee in and puff out twice, and then switch knees. Extending the long leg, really pointing through the toe and being active with that leg. And we'll continue doing this. We're building up a little bit of heat, and we'll all listen to our own body and continue, until we feel a little bit of heat. And if your neck is not liking this posture, you can rest the head down on the mat. When you finally come to stillness, just bring the soles of your feet to the mat. So have your knees bent. And then you can float your arms up overhead when you finish with your 2 puffs. And just notice the rise and fall of the chest. Notice your heart beating just a little bit faster. And even though you're still perhaps breathing a little bit, more deeply, we'll do something kind of restful. So extend your right leg out straight. Bring the left knee towards your chest. Take the right hand on the outside of the left knee and draw that left knee across the body towards the right. And we'll just rest here a little bit. We're coming into a little bit of a twist. So you'll feel a stretch in the left hip. The shoulders are just resting comfortably on the mat. The body is relaxed. Facial muscles, notice if they're relaxed and let them just melt and be without tension. You can close your eyes and just continue to allow the breath to flow freely. Breath awareness, always noticing the breath. even focusing on the rise and fall of the chest. And then exhale the knee back to center. Send that left leg out straight and bring the right knee in towards the chest. Take the left hand on the outside of the right knee and draw that right knee across the body towards the left. Allow the shoulders to rest comfortably on the mat. Notice, a little bit of stretching in that right hip. And just breathe in to any tightness. Notice the rise and fall of the chest. So just let the breath flow naturally and just be an observer, allowing any tension to melt from the facial muscles, from the shoulders, from the neck. And just be in this moment. And then we'll just inhale ourselves back to center, bend the knees and walk the heels in close to the bottom. And we're just going to come into a flowy bridge, just very easy. So on the inhalation, lift the hips up towards the sky as you float the arms up overhead, resting the knuckles on the mat. So you push into the soles of the feet, kind of ground into the soles of the feet, lifting the hips, and then exhaling and floating the arms down, bringing the bottom back to the mat. And we'll do that again. Just press into the soles of the feet and lift the hips and arms, floating them, and exhaling the hips back down to the mat. And then we'll cross our ankles, bringing our ankles into the air. And if we can reach, you might have to lift your head up to reach the feet. So we've got the legs crossed and we're just holding on. We've got the ankles crossed and we're holding on to the feet. And so we'll just rock from side to side here. Massaging our lower back a little bit. And then change the cross of the ankles. Hold on to the feet and rock from side to side. And if crossing the ankles isn't comfortable, you can just bring the knees to the chest and rock from side to side. Now we'll hold behind the thighs and either, rock up from here to boat, or if you'd like, you can turn to your side and just push yourself up, whichever. Okay, I'm gonna rock up to boat, so I'm gonna bring some forward, backward motion. We'll come to half boat with the legs bent. Relax the shoulders. Engage the core. And then float the feet down to the mat. We'll come to our Sukhasana. And we'll just bring our chin to our chest as we come into some head and neck rolls. Just gently and mindfully moving the head around, feeling the groundedness of the sit bones. So feel the body pressing into the mat. Feel the spine nice and tall. Reverse your direction at some point. And just listen to your own body and roll the head around, and especially pay attention to any areas that need that little extra. And then eventually bring the head to center and to stillness. And we'll just swim the arms back whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, just inhale the arms back, and we'll do alternating arms, almost as if we're doing the backstroke. And move slowly and mindfully, and just notice how the shoulder joint is feeling. We hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, and we just want to move slowly just to kind of work out that tightness. And then the next time we go to the left arm, we'll come forward, making big hula hoop circles, using your breath, inhaling and then exhaling as your arm comes down. So inhale the arm up, exhale it down. Inhale it up, exhale it down. We'll do each arm one more time. And just maybe shrug your shoulders a little bit, just kind of work out any kinks, whatever you need to do. Wiggle. We'll come to eagle arms now. So we're going to make an L with our left arm, extend our right fingertips away, and then sweep that right arm under. So we're stacking the elbows and wrapping the forearms around each other and bringing the palms together. And then we'll pull the elbows away from our bodies a bit, and then we'll inhale up and exhale down. And again, this is something you want to do mindfully, but if you think about the back of your shoulders, those muscles, it should feel good to have those muscles kind of stretched. They're so used to being tight and tense. So use your breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. You can use Ujjayi. And you can go as slowly as you'd like with this. And then uncross the arms. We'll make an L with the right arm, extend the left fingertips away, sweep that left arm under. And again, pull the elbows away from the body and inhale up and exhale down. And when you're ready, you can uncross the arms. Maybe shrug the shoulders up and down, or whatever feels good. Shake the arms out. We'll come to Dandasana now. So I'm going to extend my legs out the long end of my mat, flexing the feet and pressing the backs of the legs into the mat. We'll place the hands on either side of the hips, ground the backs of the legs into the mat, press the knuckles into the mat, keep the shoulders down and away from the ears, but an active pose Nice tall spine, extending the crown of the head towards the ceiling or towards the sky. So bringing a little bit of energy to the body, which was the intention. And then you can relax for a moment. And we'll come into Dandasana again. So sit up nice and tall, pressing the backs of the legs into the mat and just gently pressing the hands into the mat. We're not, we don't want to bring the shoulders up near the ears. So pressing into the mat without bringing tension to your shoulders, shoulders away from the ears. Keep the breath flowing. Release the tension. And we'll bend that left knee in, draw it close to the body, wrap the right arm around it. So even up to the elbow, if you're able. Sit up nice and tall, tall, straight spine. Send the left fingertips out in front of you, gazing at the middle front finger as you follow the fingers around, as you move them around, so that the hand will come down to the next to the left hip with fingertips facing the hip as you gaze out over your left shoulder, sitting up nice and tall. And let's take a couple of rounds of breath here, perhaps Ujjayi. And then release on an exhale back to center. Send that left leg out and draw the right knee towards your chest, holding on to that right knee with the elbow crease of the left arm. Send the right fingertips forward, gaze at that middle front finger, sit up nice and tall, and then slowly move that right hand around so that eventually you bring that hand next to the right hip with fingertips pointing towards the hip. Gaze out over your back right shoulder. Sit up nice and tall and take a couple of rounds of breath here. And then on an exhale, return to center. And we're going to move to table now. So make your way, as I always say, gracefully to table. So our wrists are underneath our shoulders. Our knees are underneath our hip points. Spread the fingers wide. Press into the backs of all 10 knuckles, so grounding in. And we'll come into our cat-cow. So be mindful as we do this. So we drop the belly, bring the heart space forward as we gaze up on an inhale. And then we exhale, bring the belly button up towards the spine, push away from the mat and really round the back, spread across the shoulders, allow them to spread. And then inhale, drop the belly, heart space forward, gazing forward or up. And then exhale, belly button to spine, push away from the mat, really grounding into the mat, drawing energy up from the earth. One more time, we'll inhale as we drop the belly, looking forward. And we will press into the mat as we bring the belly button towards the spine, pushing away with the hands, grounding into the tops of the feet. And then we'll come to a neutral spine. We'll come into cat balance now. So we're going to send the right leg out. We'll flex that foot, really press into the heel, and then send the left fingertips forward, really extend through the fingertips, ground down through the right hand and the top of the left foot. and release down, both the hand and the knee. We'll extend that left foot, really push out through that left heel, extend the right fingertips forward. Press into that left hand so that you're not collapsing on that left side. Really stretch out through the fingertips and out through the heel. And then return the hand and the knee down to the mat. We're going to come into lizard now. So we'll bring that left foot to the outer edge of the mat. The hands are inside, next to the instep of the left foot. Walk the right knee back and sink into that left hip. Just allow gravity to just let you sink. You'll feel quite a stretch in that left hip. You know, of course, it should not be, you know, you shouldn't be in pain or anything. If you need to back off, just bring that right knee in a little closer and perhaps don't sink as much. Just back off as you need to. But this really opens up the hips. Keep the breath flowing. And then we'll kind of walk that left foot back and bring the right foot to the edge of the mat. So both hands are on the instep of that right foot. Walk the left knee back and sink in to that right hip. Keep the breath flowing. And then we'll take that right foot and kind of walk it back. And we'll come into our table again. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And the index finger pointing forward. And press into the back of all 10 knuckles, but not as much. Have that left and right thumb. Have your thumbs a little relaxed and not, you know, spread as wide. So your thumbs can be a little closer to your index finger, but the rest of the fingers spread wide. We're going to curl our toes, send our hips up towards the sky, come up onto our toes. Settle back and walk the dog. So alternate bending your knee, bending your leg. Come up onto the toes again. Settle back towards the heels. The heels don't have to touch. Press into the back of all 10 knuckles. And rest here for a moment. So the back of the calves and the thighs are pressing towards the back of the mat. And then we're going to shift forward, come onto our toes, and then come onto the tops of our feet and gaze up for up dog. Come onto the toes again, curl the toes under, come back to down dog. And then we're going to walk our feet towards our hands, hanging forward in ragdoll. And while you're here, spread your toes manually. So take your toes and spread them with your hands. And then press into the front of the calves and come up for a flat back.
Exhale back down to Uttanasana. Your knees can be bent here also. And then slowly reverse swan dive up to standing. Bring your arms up overhead and then down to Anjali Mudra. So we'll take a little break here and notice the energy level. So actively pressing into the feet. So remember how we rock from side to side so that we can feel all four corners of the feet. We lift up through the instep for Padabandha. Our legs are active, so we're lifting up through the kneecaps and the thighs, engaging our core, relaxing our shoulders. So Tadasana. So we're going to come into a little balance here. So we're going to float our arms down, kind of shake them out a little bit. So we're going to use our energy on this pose. So we're going to come into eagle pose. So we'll bring the weight of the body onto the left foot, and the left foot can even have a little slight bend in the knee. And then we're going to cross the right thigh over the left thigh and hook the toes behind that left calf. We're going to stand up tall, so shoulders are nice and crown of head is nice and tall. And then we're going to take the left arm over the right arm and come into eagle arms and bring the thumb, the left thumb, towards the forehead. So find a drishti, something that you can focus on. And if your balance doesn't work, you know, I can show you this again. Let me come out of it and show you again. So bring the weight of the body onto the left foot. Bend the left knee a little bit. Take the right leg, cross the right thigh on top of the left thigh, and then hook the right toes behind the left calf. And if that doesn't work, you know, you can even just bring the right toes like a kickstand. You know, you can even do that. Okay, so try to wrap the right toes behind the left calf. Stand up nice and tall, and then we're going to cross the left arm over the right arm and come into eagle arms as we did at the beginning of the class, and bring the thumb towards the forehead. So keep the breath going. And then come out. I kind of came out fast because I was trying to talk and do it. Okay, so, you know, one side is sometimes better than the other, and some days are better than the other. So please don't have judgment on yourself, because some days you're just, you know, it's just not working. So no worries. It's good that you're trying. Okay, so press into the right leg now. Bring the weight of the body into the right leg. Bring a little spring, a little bend into that leg. Cross the left thigh on top of the right thigh and hook the left toe behind the right calf. And then we're going to take opposite arm on top. So cross the right arm on top of the left. Bring the palms together and bring your right thumb towards your forehead. So eagle pose, a little bit of balance. So grounding into that right foot, lifting up through that right instep. And keeping the breath flowing. And releasing as you're ready. Try to come out gracefully. And whatever you were able to do, good job. And it's not a competition, remember that. It's just practicing a little balance is good for us. Okay, so we're going to come into crescent lunge, which is another little bit of a balance, but it's good for us. Okay, so we're going to bring the right foot forward and the left foot back. We're going to come up onto the left toe, so the ball of the left foot. Bend the front knee. Find your balance. So I'm not on a tightrope, like my knees are, or my feet are diagonally placed. And then when you're ready, inhale your arms up, spread your fingers wide, and gaze up. Relax the shoulders. Press into the big toe of the front foot, the big toe mound of the back foot. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep the front knee over the front ankle. And then slowly float the arms down. Step the foot forward. Very nice. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. Spread the feet wide so that they're parallel. Squeeze the shoulder blades together as we send the knuckles down towards the earth. So kind of stretch the knuckles so that they're moving towards the earth. Ground into the feet. Inhale, and then as you exhale, fold at the hip crease and slowly, slowly come forward. The arms are going to come off the back. Allow them to just stop where they stop. Bring the crown of the head towards the earth. Feel the stretch in the shoulders. It should, for me, it feels very good, so hoping it feels good for you. If it doesn't, of course, bring yourself slowly up to standing. And then we use the strength of our legs as we inhale. Slowly let the hands come to the back, down to the back, and release. Okay, and so we're going to come to crescent on the opposite side. So we'll bring the right foot forward, the left foot back, come up onto the left toes, bend the front knee, and inhale the arms up, spreading the fingers wide as you gaze up. The back leg is straight, so we're pressing into the heel. Front knee is bent. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then when you're ready, float the hands down. Bring the back foot down to the earth. And come to Tadasana. So we'll inhale the arms up, really stretch through the fingertips, turn the palms away from each other. As you exhale, float forward. You can bend the knees. Place the hands on either side of the feet. Come to your knees. And we'll make our way back to Shavasana. So everyone, make your way back and begin to make yourself nice and comfortable. And begin to return to your breath. So notice your breath, be an observer. As you inhale, feel cool air move through your nasal passages. And as you exhale, feel warm air moving out of the body. So just follow the breath, perhaps watching the rise and fall of the chest. And each time you exhale, allow yourself to sink a little deeper, relaxing a little bit more, thanking yourself for your practice and for sharing your time with all of us. Just following the rise and fall of the chest. Taking a moment here to notice how you're feeling. Is your energy level a little bit higher? You know, you may be a little bit fatigued, but do you feel that prana, that energy moving through your body? Did you awaken that prana? I'm going to ring my bowl. I invite you to stay in Shavasana. Your hands can stay right on the mat, or if you'd like, you can bring your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra. And my wish for you is may you feel energized and grounded throughout the rest of your day and beyond. Namaste.